Morning guys, it's March 29th. I'm Henry Green from London Trading Group, and I'm just going to run through the higher time frames today for the coming week. So I like to go through the weekly charts. Normally at the start of the week, obviously it's Tuesday this week, but just to try and give us an idea about where we could potentially be going in this week. So as you can see with Euro at the moment, we are in this somewhat of a triangle. We have kind of come off the top side of the range, so now I'm potentially looking for this to go lower, and these sort of areas down here towards 110, 109.80 sort of area are really good buying areas in this currency. So I've also got this past market angle, as you can see, these two green lines, one here and one here. These are the two green lines that I've got in, because as soon as the market broke here and potentially breaks here, that's where I'm then looking to sell it as confirmation that this is going down. But currently we have rejected off the top side of this potential triangle pattern that we're in, and this could now lead us down to sort of the mid 110s and towards the low 110s, and then obviously we're looking for buying opportunities. So my outlook for euro dollar is that we go higher. If we put the new fibs in, so this is the fibs on the way back up again, where are we looking towards? So we did hit the D finally there. We've probably pulled back now nice and deep, so we are looking towards up into this zone, 114.80 area, sort of 115 is my potential target for this one. So I'm looking for this market to hold up somewhere before bouncing, and probably down here towards this trend line will be the best area to do that. So maybe we have one more week of sell-off. Certainly a nice bearish week last week, and we could now potentially see this push a little bit higher. Continue on down and then potentially push a little bit higher when we finally bounce. Obviously, if we close through this past market angle that I've got in here, then I'm definitely looking for the short side. But until that happens, you've got to expect this to bounce somewhere in this zone. So that's what I'm looking for euro dollar. Okay, so cable, what about cable? So cable had a really bearish week as well last week, but seems like we're just holding. This is my past market, similar past market angle that I've got in here. I'm looking for this to hold around this sort of zone, 140 zone, and then a potential bounce higher. If we manage to close up and through this past market angle up here, so up through 144, then I think this is fairly bullish. But at the moment, it just looks like we could just be going sideways. I'd prefer it to pull back into 146. I think all the stars align if we finally get a pullback into 146, and that's where I'm potentially looking to take cable. So hopefully this holds and we potentially go a little bit higher. There is a little bit of support down here, as you can see. It's just the previous lows that we're currently at now. We've spiked into it before, so potentially that could be a reason why this now pushes higher. But for me, I think that maybe we could have a little bit of a further push down, bounce off sort of 140-70 area. See what it's saying on the day, but certainly this looks like, especially after last week's candle, we're going to potentially go higher. However, every time we do have these big sell-off days, there's normally a bit of a hold. Sell-off week. There's normally a bit of a hold day. You see how it's held here, we've held here, and so we could just hold here again, and then potentially push higher in the coming week for cable. So pretty interesting one. As I say, I'm going to be going down to my daily charts to find exactly the deeper picture of what's happening for that one. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen's found some good support down there, and as such, I do like this potentially high now. We have managed to break back into that range. So this was we had a 112, and then we managed to get down to 110.50 or 110.60 area 2 weeks ago. But I think we're back in this range now, and certainly it looks like we could potentially break out the top side. So a close above 114 is certainly a buy, and I think the first and easy move. Well, it's back to at least 115, and certainly on my daily I think it takes me back to 115.50, which is the next level of resistance up as well. So I have got this 113.80 area, so be careful of that, and the 80 EMA, so I'm just going to be wary running into that. But certainly this looks like we could now go bid. Nice rejection and nice bounce, so we could now see this rally. We could see dollar yen rally, and I like 115.50. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think that it probably gets there. Dollar CAD, have a look at dollar CAD. Let's get it up on the week. Okay, so dollar CAD again found a really nice bounce. 133.60 is the 38 of the move down, so that's a kind of at least where I expect it to get to. It hasn't quite got there yet, so we have somewhat bounced, but this 50 moving average, I believe, that's coming in here, looks like it's acted as good support. So we could now see this rally once more. Nice bullish week last week, so I think that this does probably go and test 133.60. I think that's a really good zone first off, and I'll be trying to find some more intricate zones in the daily charts as to where that's going to take us. But certainly that looks like the next level up, 133.60. Next level down to 129.60. So if we do get down there again, then I suspect this will probably go lower. However, I do like it at 133.60. I think that's a really good trade. Should you get back up there to look for the shorts, or be buying it until it gets up there. Okay, Aussie on the week. Let's have a look at that one. Okay, so this was a breakout as we talked about. We finally closed above support, above resistance, excuse me. We've rejected off 676 on the week last week, and we have since sold off. So I like this to come back to at least a 38. So I'm looking for this to come back down to 74. I think that makes some sense. We've got a good old level of yeah. I mean, that could probably be a level in there. Yeah, you could argue that that was a bit of a level of support. So put this one in as well. So we could argue that this pulls back now to here, 74, and then we see this rally. And I think, well, 82 or 81.60 is the area that it's pointing to on the top side. So certainly if it gets there, that's a big old trade. But certainly Aussie at the moment looks like it potentially could pull back and then we go higher. So I'm going to be looking for my smaller time frame entries for that one as well. And finally the Kiwi. Let's see what's that's looking like. So this is just bang at the top of its range equivalently. You've got to be looking for short should it get up to 68.50, well 68.40, 50 area, and currently we are at a bit of a resistance at 67. So this one's just sideways, as you can see. We're just rammed in this sideways kind of range. So if we could just put this in and have it as a bit of like a ascending triangle, but yeah, I'm not too interested in the Kiwi. I think that this is a really choppy chart. Nothing much to take from it. There's nothing much you can read from that chart. So I'm not going to give this too much respect, I don't think. I think that this probably just goes sideways once more and fools a lot of people. So that's what I'm kind of looking for in my higher time frames. As I said, just quickly go back through them again. Euro looks like it's at the top of its sort of top of its range. We're looking for shorts in that one. Cable looks like it could we could either get a bounce down here at sort of 40, 60 area and then rally back up to 144. Dollar yen looks like a buy. I do like it. We are coming up to a bit of resistance, so be careful around 114. Dollar CAD looks like a buy as well, up to 133.60. I like that up there. Aussie dollar looks like we could just have a pullback. 74 looks like a good zone before and a potential bounce. And Kiwi just looks sideways. So there's a few interesting bits for this week. As I said, I'm going to go down to my daily charts to give me a greater insight of exactly where we're going. But I hope that's been useful, guys. As I said, I'll be back from every day this week now after the Easter holiday. So click subscribe to never miss a video again, and happy trading. Thanks very much.